Ronnie, what are you doing? Oh, not much. What did you do today? I went to the art store and I don't know how I did this. Or, well, I really didn't do too much, but it's so exciting for what I did. My life, you're watching me right now. I'm explaining to you. I have to explain to you everything that I think in my life. You have to, when you're here, when you join, when you come here, when we get together, when we have an arrangement, when you're watching me, sometimes it has to come naturally the way it flows out of me. First come, first serve, whatever comes to my mind. I went to the art store today and I talked a little bit about numerology, and right away the girls were all over. They were listening, very attentive, and if they didn't understand, they said it to me. And all of a sudden I told them Mr. Tackpans, and they flipped it on the page and they looked at some of my art on Google, and all of a sudden, oh my God, you should, I mean, just like yes, Eugene, and just like grace is a race, the spirit of grace, the seventh gate of the 666, G and R, okay, stand for the top of green. It's eternal. 4 by 9 is 36, which is 2 by 18. Why? Because there's two. There's I and I, jumping on and jumping off the boat. Want to talk about the Jack Nav? Well, he's the navigator of the avenues of the ocean, and he drove Titanic right into an iceberg. Why wasn't the captain looking pretty stupid, eh? Oh, okay, yes, son, what would you like me to do, son? Oh, you're going to go faster? 2,500 people on the boat. We'll go faster. Where's the captain's responsibility? You want to see how the planets, this is the way the planets work. You put the star inside of here, and no matter what you do, it's like the horseshoe. It's always electric that comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 in the center. Here's the star part. You see this star, the way it curves? This curves out of here. This curves out of here. This has to be man's mind. This is 2, okay? And this is in the ground. To the soles of his shoes, to the top of his head. Spirit comes into man. Okay? Now, before I start, I don't even know if this is going to upload, but the way I see it, okay, it's a thing about learning and something to do with Vav in Hebrew, in which my grandfather's name was Vel, which means to lick your lips, the taste of life, the salt that comes from within in the saliva. What does it all mean? I'm sorry. I can't tell you exactly what it means, but I can see. I know it means something. So what good is that to any of you if all I can tell you is about? Well, this channel is more or less, I put it here so people can remind me or think of their own questions in which I can dive into, call it a delve into, and come up with information, what other people think, so we can come together and prove that this world is part of an intergalactic system that the Federation runs when they run 4, 5, and 6 in your telephone. Look at McDonald's. This comes from McDonald's and it comes from Tim Hortons. But look at McDonald's. The letter M in McDonald's. The letter M in McDonald's. And I'm going to show you. The letter M in McDonald's breaks down to a 1v1, which is Roman numerals 4, 5, 6, which is part of 18. This is the 8 card. M and M, what's in between? It's April, because it creates March and May, the 3rd and the 5th month. And I've seen so much of 3 and 5, and I keep bumping into 3 and 5, and 3 and 5 create everything. 3 times 5, 3 plus 5 equals 15, and 8 is 23. 2 times 3, 2 plus 3 equals 5 and 6. Now what's funny about that is that 2 and 3 is on the left side of 4, and 5 and 6 is on the right side of 4. We don't count number 1, spirit, because that day is left to God. You see, there's so many worlds, there's so many things to do. I bumped into so many things about JFK today. We know the moon is not real. In order to create 19, you need 3 and 4. Inside of 3 and 4, those, okay, the planets, there is no U. But the 3rd day of the week, which is Tuesday, there is a U. U-E-S. T is the cross connection of the universal spirit, which is the E, the electronics. So this is M. This is W. M and W is 36 creation. O is in the center, which is the diamonds, because Krista Berg drew the diamond 8. He already knew he was safe inside. He's collected the diamonds. If I took the 9 and put it over this, I'd have a dot inside here, and this 8 would be the 9 card. It would have 2 moons, plus the center moon of Earth. The center moon of Earth, the spirit moon of Earth, is Mercury. The other 2 moons, you see, Venus goes over to Mars, and it becomes the 2 moons of Mars. Mercury goes over to Earth, becomes the 1 moon of Earth. The sandbox and the prism within our own mind is Mars, Mercury, and Venus. Mars, Mercury, and Venus, 1, 2, 4, it's the lives of the cat, and it turns into the pound key. Remember, this diamond here is not finished. If you want to finish this diamond has to do this. And this diamond, okay, has to do this. Why? Or unless it has to go over to this one, because it has to connect on the side. See the way it goes on this angle? Why? Because just follow the line, follow the line, follow the line. Line goes to here. Follow the line, the line goes to here. It's a continuous line, but it is stopped because it's showing you what it is. It's not showing you from where it came from. This is the 9 and the 10 card. When you turn it this way, it becomes one thing. When you turn it this way, it becomes another thing. Now, if you take this and put it against this, okay, this would be the 1, this would be the 6 Saturn. This would be Mars, this would be Jupiter, this would be Earth. This is the angle. You get a 45 degrees, and then this angle over here, from up here all the way down to here, I do not know what that angle is, probably 23.5 degrees, but I'm not quite sure, and I can't really explain it. If you want to see the light is over here. Here's the light. This does not overlay on this. It shows up in between. This is the letter P, okay, that shows up in between, and it lights up. The light is letter P. P is the 16th letter, the 1 spirit is 6, and 6 points, 3 points, 1 point in football. Why? Because it is the creation of the light. Man is the creation that takes place within man. 1 and 5 is this one and this one. You know, look, the 1 is here, okay? The 1 is here, the 1 is here. Remove this 1 because this 1 lives out of here. The 1 spirit of 6. Now what I want to say about this is this and this make a 7. Then I'm going to turn the dice on the side. 2 and 5 make 7, but it works in the 7. But it's not 7 because the 2 is doubled up in the corners. So this becomes 5. And this becomes 5. So we would get 6 and 1, 7 versus 5 versus 6 and 1, 7 versus 5. 5775. The Hebrew New Year this year is 5775. The other thing about that, again, communication of the pigs, because the 2 things we had to use was this is the bacon. Pumbaa in the circle of life, 6. The cat and Pumbaa in the circle of life becomes the 6th cat. 6 and 8 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. 1 and 4 is 5, and at the same time, I'm not really sure where we're supposed to go, but when you count from 1 to 14, okay, which talks about the Mars moons. Why? 1 plus 4, 1, 4 is 14. 1, 1, 4 has to do with 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days of the pig's pregnancy, in which is part of Abraham. Ham radio, which is the best way to actually use your communications. Don't forget, advertising, Bewitched, and Tabitha. You have to remember the planets came together. They talk about the rubble that it made when the explosion came, and the pebbles that came upon it. And what was that big bang? One planet went boom into this planet. Another planet went boom into this planet. Why? They rocked the oceans. They were building Earth. They wanted to stick together, so they smashed it as hard as they could. So if they're saying Mazdek, okay, it actually could mean that it's a sad and sorry case of what's going on Earth every single time they do the same scenario. It's 1225. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. 1.25 days at the end of the cycle of the last moon, which is the 13th moon, ending on 364 days. in which the 52 cards and 13 cards in 4 different suits, 13 cards in 4 different suits equal, whoop, my computer went down, four different suits, 13 cards to a suit equals to 52. If we add up, okay, if we multiply 13 times 7 weeks, 13 times 7 weeks, 13 times 7 days, 13 by 7 days, 13 by 7 days, 39 weeks of 7 days, 273 days, 91, 91, 91, the one spirit of the 9 birth, of the one spirit of the 9 birth, of the one spirit of the 9 birth, 19, 19, 19 equals 57, the number of the moon. Anyways, I have to do something else, and I'm going to probably come back after this, but I feel I'm going to be rushing from now. The other thing I wanted to mention, it's our science. Do you want to know why Michael Jackson is not here today? It's not because of the doctor. It's what they're doing. Michael Jackson was so open to the spiritual world, he couldn't slow down the wheel. I know. I've seen it. I've seen television going 100 miles an hour and faster in my head. I've seen things in my head just like they say people with schizophrenia see them, but I had to shut it down, and it wasn't easy. It took me a couple of days, and I kept seeing, and I know that was the same thing, and it was forced, because they're changing our minds and trying to control our minds, so the more they put things in our minds, the more we become schizophrenic, the more the actuality, they say, okay, everybody's becoming schizophrenic, we're starting to control them now. I don't know if I showed you this. Look, it says 11. Father, 11. 10. Angel resident, 10, 11. Abba. This is a place where they kill chickens. 6, 6, 6, 6. You see the way it comes? 6 and 6 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 6 and 7 is 13. 6 and 7 is 13. 7 and 0. Because in their own level, it comes from 0. Why did it come from 0? Because this would be 10. 0 would be 15, but this would be 10. Do you understand? The area in its own becomes 15. 1 plus 5, 1 times 5. This 5 and 6 becomes 11. 1 and 1 becomes the 2. Now, I know I didn't explain that properly, but if you're going into the 7 worlds, and this, if the thousands is the 7th world, then we only need 0 for this area because we're already there. It's funny the way our family business had 666 and 777. This, I don't know how I can explain it. This goes in, this sticks out. But if you take a look at it, it's the sound. It's the lines that say sound. Anyways, I want to switch and just say one other thing before I let it go. There's a flag, a Spanish flag out there. I can't even explain it. There's a Spanish flag. It's yellow, red, and some other color. And I know I'm not going to say this right. That it has the same design as the BlackBerry phone, which has the same design as the pirate ships I saw somewhere else. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. These dice say everything. Now we did 5 and 3. I just want to do one more thing. Here's the 5 and 3. Okay? Here's the 5 and 3. There's no other way to get 5 and 3, so no matter what, I got 4 and 2. Here is 6 and 1. Here is 6 and 1. Here is 6 and 1. The one spirit is 6, the one spirit is 6. 7 and 7 over 6 and 8. And that's exactly what it is in the game of craps. In the game of craps, all the numbers with the same payouts, okay, are 8 and 6, and they're the reverse on the dice. 9, the reverse on the dice of 9 is 5, and the payout is 7 to 5. 4, the reverse on the dice is 10. And now you have the hard ways in gaming, and all the hard ways start telling a story, but I'm too tired to go any further with this. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for watching.